don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't.
Hey, this video is about how to improve speed with hill sprints. You know, looking back at some of the greatest runners, I always studied all the top runners that were either from Europe or from Kenya, Ethiopia, other parts of the world. Sebastian Coe was one of my biggest motivations when I was coming up in high school at Indian Creek High School in Wintersville, Ohio. I studied how Sebastian would focus on doing hill repetitions. He would be doing 100 to 150 meter hill sprints, running all out on the way up and jogging very lightly on the way down. Hill repetitions are going to force you to use different muscle groups that you're not going to be using on flat surfaces. So I always have, I have my athletes that I personally coach as well as on my training plans and in the courses that I teach. I go very heavy on hill repetitions and focusing on hills, because you don't want to just get in the habit of running on flat surfaces all the time. You got to get outside your comfort zone and utilize those different muscle groups that are going to help you have the best chances of success when it comes to racing. And whether you're a marathon runner or you're a track and field athlete, maybe you're focused on the 800, maybe you're focused on 1500, 3000, 5000. Speed definitely matters, and it doesn't. And you have to recruit those more fast twitch muscle fibers. You have to be doing hill repetitions, running over hillier terrain. Strength training obviously will help as well, and it'll also help you to have if you have any biomechanical issues. Over the years, I've had this for sure. When I was very heavy in my prime and training for track and field races, road races, I was doing one strength training workout per week. And our strength and conditioning coach, when I was with the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program, he had us doing weighted sled sprints at the National Strength and Conditioning Association, which is headquartered in Colorado Springs, which is where Fort Carson, where I was stationed at, is located at. And so he would be having us as the marathon runners out there doing sprint drills. Okay, just like our sprinters and our mid-distance guys and gals were doing. So even as a long-distance runner, if you're a long-distance runner and you're more focused on the 10K, 10-miler, half marathon, marathon, you still have to focus on working that raw leg speed, even in these longer events. If you want to get better, you can't just do long, slow distance running and expect to maintain fast race paces over long periods of time. And again, you don't recruit fast twitch muscle fibers by running slow. You will definitely build your endurance. You'll build stamina with longer, more moderately paced efforts. But doing hill repetitions and improving speed with hill sprints will definitely work, because again, you're getting outside your comfort zone, you're improving your body's lactate tolerance, your ability to clear lactic acid more effectively. And again, that's the name of the game when it comes to running on the track, racing on the track, or racing on the roads. It's being able to sustain pace and to be able to handle high amounts of lactic acid and be able to efficiently clear that so that you slow down less than your competition. And I think hill repetitions, running over hillier terrain, it's another form of strength training. Even if you're not lifting weights, at a bare minimum, you should be doing push-ups and sit-ups, so that again, you're strengthening your core, you're strengthening your upper body. But also, if you want to take your racing and training to the next level, I would highly recommend implementing a strength and conditioning plan. Okay, I would never do strength training on the days that you have easy days planned. Always do your strength training on the same days that you have your track sessions, your tempo runs, or your long runs planned. Make the hard day a hard day, okay? But make your easy days relaxed and as comfortable as they can be, because you want to make sure that you're recovering. Always give yourself 48 hours of recovery. In some cases, you're going to need up to 3 days of recovery after some of these workouts, especially those of you that are doing those very paced long runs. That is without a doubt, in my opinion, the hardest workout I ever did throughout my training as a middle to long distance runner. It's those very paced runs where you're speeding up and slowing down. But doing hill sprints to improve your speed, I would do that once every other week. Some runners do it every single week. But I think just mixing up your training so that you're not doing too much of one activity too often. Okay, you want to make sure that you're recovering from your training and that you bounce back. There is a physiological training adaptation called supercompensation. Google that. I'll leave it here on the screen as well. Supercompensation. It's basically when a brief overview of what it is the body is much, much weaker initially after you do a very hard workout, but it bounces back to about twice to 3 times as strong about 48 hours to 3 days after you do that particular workout. So we're not really stronger immediately after a workout. We're much weaker, but it's those 2 days to 3 days after you do that track workout or you do that tempo run that your body bounces back physiologically and you're even stronger than you were prior to the start of you doing that workout. So supercompensation, it really just ties back into, adaptation and recovery. Okay, if you're doing hill sprints, this is going to tax the body and tax you both mentally as well as physically. So it's vital, especially if you want to run faster on the track or roads, to get beyond just the easy, long, slow runs and running on flat surfaces all the time, especially if you're training for a road race, maybe a 10K, a 5K on the roads that's going to be hilly. You want to make sure that you're doing hill reps to, again, force yourself to lift your knees, pump your arms more, and focus more on form, because it's not, when you're running easy, you're building up such a small amount of lactic acid. Your body can effectively clear that so easily that we can run for several hours running easily. Of course, you still have to be very fit to run for several hours, but you get my point. You can run much longer if you're running much slower. The body doesn't need as much oxygen. There's not as much, the lactic acid buildup isn't as high versus if you're just running, versus if you're doing hill repetitions where your heart rate's going to skyrocket. You're going to be uncomfortable. Much more oxygen demand is on the body. Requirement is much more on the body as well. So it's much more difficult to do hill sprints versus these easy runs. But if you're focusing on all the fundamentals, you're focusing on building your endurance, you're building your stamina and strength, i.e. doing hill repetitions, hill sprints, fartlek workouts where you're running maybe 3 minutes hard, 1 minute easy, getting outside of that comfort zone and doing reps, fartlek training. Hill repetitions will take you to the next level. I mean, if you're consistent, if you're thinking more long term versus cramming all of your training in a short amount of time, your chances of succeeding as a middle to long distance runner are going to skyrocket, because again, you're providing adequate time for your body and your mind to adapt to what you're throwing at it. Physiologically, and this is from Dr. Joe Vigil, it takes about 28 days for your body to adapt to the training you're throwing at it. So the workouts and training you're doing today, the benefits of the training and workouts you're doing today on the roads or on the track, those benefits are going to be seen about 3 to 4 weeks down the line. So if you're having a hard time right now, maybe you're having a hard time holding a 5-mile tempo run at maybe 7:30 mile pace. Keep consistently doing that. In about a month from now, that 7:30 mile pace is going to feel much more manageable versus when you first started off in your first week of training or your first couple weeks of training. So be patient with yourself and know that great results take more time than most of the time we realize. A lot of times the goals we're going for, we're trying to achieve it in a matter of like several months or a year, where it may take you 5 to 10 years to get to that point. So as long as you enjoy what you're doing, you love the sport, you love the excitement of both the ups and the downs of training, and you don't lose enthusiasm for that, you're going to succeed. This is a sport where there's greatness comes over several months, several years. Okay, so just be patient with yourself, and especially know that most of the time your best running is several years from now. Okay, if you're in high school, in my opinion, I mean, in my own example, my best running was in my late 30s. Okay, so when I was 15, I was a freshman in high school, and when I was like, 18, 19 as a senior, I could not run as fast as I did when I was running professionally on the track. Running a 1600 or 3200 on the track, I couldn't hold the type of pace that I was running for 10 miles or a marathon in some cases, especially when I was a freshman in high school. Freshman in high school, I couldn't hold my marathon goal pace for 2 miles. Even as a sophomore in high school, I was basically running my marathon goal race, my marathon PR pace, 5:19 mile pace for 3,200 meters, because my PR as a sophomore in high school was 10:38 for 3,200. Junior year, I got it to 9:46. Senior year, I ran 9:46 again. But as a sophomore in high school, I was basically running all out for 3,200 meters on the track at my marathon pace that I would run several years later. So again, going from a competitive high school runner to an elite long distance runner, the key aspects was tenacity, hill sprints, focusing on building that stamina and strength from doing hill sprints, and being tenacious about what I was doing. So I hope this video on how to improve speed with hill sprints has been helpful, at least just hearing a little bit more about my own background, and hopefully being able to change up some of the things that you may be doing right now in training. Maybe you're not doing a lot of hill training. Start doing that, but give yourself time to adapt and gradually move into that type of training. First, focus on your aerobic fitness, and then gradually move into faster workouts, hill repetitions, hillier terrain. Be patient with yourself. Have that plan. So thank you so much for watching my video. Thanks for your support. Please like and share these videos. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell icon so every time I make a new video, you'll be notified. And check out the resources below, as well as on RunDreamAchieve.com. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.